He went from reality show heartthrob to headlining packed-out parties with fans screaming his name. Nick Vance isn't just DJing, he's dominating. Campus by campus, club by club, his tour has been one wild, unpredictable ride. But behind every flashing light and viral set, there's a lot more going on. From sorority takeovers to chaotic giveaways, from freezing on the sidelines in one hoodie to pulling stunts even he didn't expect. And the moment that had the internet asking, wait, did he really just do that on stage? Yeah, we're going there. Because what started as a DJ tour might just be the birth of something way bigger and way messier. Let's get into it. When Nick Vance first showed up on Love Island Season 7, nobody expected he'd become one of the most recognizable faces from the entire cast, let alone one of the busiest. Viewers tuned in weekly for the drama, the romance, and his undeniable charm. But the moment the cameras stopped rolling, Nick flipped the script faster than anyone was ready for. While other cast members were chasing brand deals or fizzling out on social media, Nick was already setting up a different kind of future, with turntables, tour stops, and fans who weren't just watching from their phones. They were flying out just to see him live. And when he officially reintroduced himself as Freo Nico, something clicked. What started as a low-key tour through college venues turned into a full-blown wave. Cities like Toronto and LA quickly became hot spots for sold-out DJ sets, and each stop after seemed to only grow louder, wilder, and weirder, in the best way possible. No more villa. No more confessionals. Just packed-out venues, screaming fans, and Nick commanding the stage like he was born for it. But the real pivot? He wasn't just playing music. He was creating moments, and leaving just enough chaos behind at each stop to get people talking long after the music faded. And it all officially went off the rails, in the best way, on stop number 1. Alabama. If there was ever a moment when it became crystal clear that Nick Vance wasn't just riding the wave of reality TV fame, it was Alabama. Coming straight off a trip to Puerto Rico, where fans said he had the time of his life, Nick dropped into Alabama for Greek Fest, and from the very start, it was obvious this wasn't going to be some casual college gig. This was a full-on takeover. The line to get in wrapped around the building. Fans were decked out. Some people waited hours just to catch a glimpse, before the doors even opened. And when they say the place was packed, that's putting it lightly. The entire city seemed to pull up. Frats, sororities, alumni, fans who'd been following him since day one. It felt like everyone in Bama showed out to prove that Nick wasn't just welcome. He was the main event. But he didn't just pull up, spin a few tracks, and dip. Nope, Nick hit the meet and greet, took pics, hugged it out with fans, and then made a surprise drop-in on one of the most iconic sororities on campus, the AKAs. That moment alone had social media in a chokehold for days. Clips of him dancing with the girls, vibing, and just living in the moment started circulating like wildfire. And the wildest part? That was all before the actual performance. The second he stepped on stage, you could feel the energy shift. He wasn't just DJing, he was performing. Connecting with fans, jumping around, grabbing phones, recording himself from the crowd's point of view. It was intimate but electric. He had the entire room on his wavelength, and it didn't take long for the campus and TikTok to declare it. Nick Vance is no longer just a Love Island guy. He knew how to control a crowd. He knew how to keep it moving. And most importantly, he knew how to keep people talking. And it turns out, he wasn't done talking either. Because the very next morning, Nick gave Bama an exclusive surprise no one saw coming. After lighting up the stage and shutting Bama down, most people would be in bed nursing a hangover or still processing the crowd's energy. But Nick. He was already back in front of a camera. This time, for something a little less chaotic, and way more revealing. That's when the now viral campus interview dropped. Bright and early the next morning, and we mean bright and early, Nick sat down with a student reporter for Bama Barstool. And that's when fans saw a totally different side of DJ Freo. No flashing lights. No pounding bass. Just cool charisma, unfiltered honesty, and a sprinkle of sleep deprivation. The interviewer, clearly a natural herself, hit Nick with rapid-fire questions that kept things light but surprisingly personal. Who would he call for a 7 a.m. run from the Love Island villa? Brian, for sure. Elon too. That boy runs. Which cities top his DJ venues list? Toronto, LA. And yeah, Alabama's up there too. That was crazy. And yes, she brought up the one topic everyone was secretly dying to hear about, Olandria. After a quick mention of their viral fashion shoot and fan-favorite glamour feature, Nick smiled and said what everyone was thinking. That fed generations. That one felt like a family moment. The way he casually dropped that line? Fans lost their minds in the comments. Edits started popping up left and right. People started comparing them to iconic TV couples. Whether it was serious or not didn't even matter. The chemistry was already internet canon. But the highlight. That quick flip from cool celeb to sleepy college kid. Are you used to waking up this early? Hell nah, I'm used to staying up this early. Relatable. It wasn't just a promo clip anymore. It became a fan moment. A vibe. The kind of clip people send to their group chats at 2 a.m. with the caption, "Wait, he's actually funny?" But if his quick wit impressed some, what happened next would leave everyone shook. Because just hours after signing off from this charming sit-down, Nick did something most DJs wouldn't dare try after a night like that. Yup. He set his alarm. The night before, he was drenched in sweat, hyping up a packed crowd with lights flashing and bass shaking the walls. But by 7:30 the next morning, Nick Vance wasn't recovering. He was lacing up. While most people were still passed out, sleeping off the energy from Greek Fest, Nick was outside in the cold. Running. You heard that right. Running. No warm gym. No private treadmill in some cozy hotel suite. Just freezing concrete, a group of half-awake runners, and Nick leading the charge like it was nothing. He showed up cracking jokes, hyping up the squad, and somehow looked both exhausted and locked in at the same time. The shift was wild. Hours earlier he'd been dancing on stages. Now he was out here coaching vibes like a campus fitness influencer. Every clip from the Run Club felt like a meme waiting to happen. 1 second he's motivating people. We're activated. What are we giving today? And the next he's freezing mid-step, yelling about how it's too cold for all this. According to some of the fans there, he was still half hoarse from performing. And still finished the run. The chaotic energy of it all only made fans love him more. 1 minute he's DJ Freo in back-to-back press interviews. The next, he's just a guy wondering if his hoodie counts as a winter coat. This duality, unpredictable but genuine, is what's cementing Nick as more than just a former reality star. He's living like every moment counts, and dragging his fans, running or not, right along with him. But right when you think that's enough wholesome content for one morning, Nick switches things up again. And this time? He's handing out money. Because what came next wasn't a party or a performance. It was a giveaway, and fans were about to walk away with more than just selfies. It wasn't enough that Nick was hitting college campuses like an unstoppable force. Now he was dropping prizes like he worked at the Oprah show. 038-6897. Someone in the back screamed. Nick shouted back, "Come get your hoodie, champ." Another number, 038-6881. A girl jumps up like she just won the damn lottery, because out there, she kind of did. Fresh off a freezing cold 7 a.m. run, Nick hosted a full-blown giveaway session, handing out hoodies, gift cards, and even a $200 pair of shoes sponsored by Fleet Feet Tuscaloosa. Most celebrities might just toss a signed poster and call it a day. Not Nick. He was interacting with the fans, calling numbers like a hype announcer at an underground sneaker drop, and turning what could have been a basic event into an unforgettable moment. It wasn't just about the free stuff, it was about energy. That connection. That he really took time to pull this off. Type of vibe. And the fans ate it up. People were filming their name being called. Others burst into tears or posted long captions thanking Nick for making their broke college student dreams come true. Some tweeted about how this moment made waiting in the cold at 6 a.m. absolutely worth it. It felt real, unfiltered, and generous in a way that made people say, "He's really for the people." What made it even crazier was that this wasn't on some big stage or live stream. It was just Nick, a mic, and a bag of prizes. Doing it because he could. Doing it because maybe fame didn't change him as much as people thought. And with barely enough time to take a breath, the tour rolled on. Because his next stop? A wild set at UNCW, and let's just say the turnout was big. But the space? Not so much. By the time Nick Vance touched down in North Carolina, word had already spread. Freo was coming, and the fans were ready. UNCW felt different. The buzz was there. The crowd. Loud, excited, loyal. The core_fanbase_ was clearly growing, and it was easy to see why. People weren't just showing up because he used to be on TV. They were coming because they already knew his sets were the real deal. But as soon as you looked at the space they gave him, something felt off. The energy was there, but the stage wasn't. It was small, shrinking his presence, cramping the chaos, limiting what had made his last few performances go viral in the first place. Fans could feel it too. The hype was racing up the walls, but there wasn't enough room for it to breathe. Nick still gave it 110%. Head bouncing, mic in hand, fists in the air like he was performing for Madison Square Garden. But at points, it started looking like he was dodging equipment just to get a little movement in. Some in the crowd even joked online. Bro looked like he was DJing in someone's kitchen. He needs a warehouse, not a stage shelf. Still, even in a tight venue with barely enough room to two-step, Nick managed to keep the crowd jumping. That's the mark of a performer who knows what he's doing. But behind the scenes, you could feel the pressure starting to mount. The demand was growing, and maybe the tour setups weren't growing fast enough to keep up. Still, Nick didn't complain. He delivered. And with another massive stop on the horizon, he packed up and kept it moving. Because next up was Florida. And Orlando would end up being a whole different beast entirely. By the time Nick Vance touched down in Orlando, it was clear. This wasn't just another stop. It was about to be a full-blown movie. Before the lights, the music, and the madness, things started off a little sweet. Literally. As Nick was getting ready backstage, a fan approached him with a small gift bag. Inside, trinkets, little tokens, and 2 ornaments that read, Mr. and Mrs. O. Cute. Random. Unhinged in the most on-brand way. Nick held them up and laughed. This one says Miss O. But it's cool. It's cool. It was the kind of moment that makes fans feel connected, like they're building an inside joke with a celebrity who actually gets it. But that calm didn't last long. Moments later, the lights dropped, and Nick went full Freo. This wasn't just a set. This was a rave. Packed from wall to wall. Lights strobing like a Vegas club. Shoulders bumping. Drinks flying. And Nick was feeding off every ounce of it. Then it happened. In the middle of the set, the music dropped, and so did Nick, or rather, up. Dude nearly mounted the entire DJ booth like he had something to prove. The internet lit up instantly. Clips flew to TikTok within the hour. Comments ranged from, "This man is crazy," to, "He better marry that DJ booth after what I just saw." Someone tweeted, "Nick Vance climbed the booth like it owed him money." And remember, we're talking Orlando, a city that knows how to party. This was exactly the chaotic, low-key, unhinged energy fans had been waiting for. And yes, it came with a healthy splash of Don Julio, which Nick subtly admitted later online by responding to a fan comment with, "Yeah, I might have had a little too much that night. That booth ain't forgetting me anytime soon." But even through the madness, Nick did what he always does. Kept the crowd electric, stayed in sync with the beat, and somehow turned what could have been a mess into one of the most shared moments of the tour so far. And just when it felt like the night couldn't get wilder, another DJ decided he wasn't about to miss out on the madness. That's when things took a left turn, in the most hilarious way possible. Orlando was already intense. The venue was buzzing, Nick was on fire, and it felt like the whole city had shown up. But what nobody expected Was another DJ literally leaving mid-set just to catch Nick's performance from the crowd? Yup. While one DJ was spinning at a totally different club down the street, he found out that Nick from Love Island, yes, the same Love Island, was performing at Palm Street Club, just minutes away. And the guy basically panicked. You can hear him in a video, talking into the mic between songs like, "Alright y'all, I'ma play a long track real quick. I gotta go see Nick Vance. Be right back." You'd think he was dipping out for a fire drill or emergency. But nope. Man just hit a hard left, packed up mid-gig, and booked it to watch Freo live. Camera still rolling, he jogs through the city like he's in some kind of rave-themed rom-com. We gotta move. Play the long song. I'm out. And by the time he got there, total chaos. He walked straight into a set packed tighter than a festival main stage and caught Nick deep in his Orlando moment. Sweating, smiling, and still going all in. Fans couldn't get enough. The whole thing felt surreal. Not only were people showing up, they were leaving their own shows to see him. That's the kind of crossover that doesn't happen unless you're making serious waves outside your original lane. The clip of the DJ leaving his post went viral within hours, and fans started joking that Nick needed to stop or he'd have the whole city abandoning their jobs just to see this tour in person. It was funny. Chaotic. Borderline unprofessional? Maybe. But 100% iconic. And after that no-notice guest moment and his wild DJ booth stunt, Nick had officially done it all. Party, press, performance. And now? He was finally ready for a break. Or so he thought. Because his next move wasn't a concert. It wasn't a giveaway. It was something fans absolutely didn't expect. Repping the Patriots, freezing his face off, and somehow still managing to entertain an entire outdoor crowd, in one sweater. After city hopping, crowd hyping, and DJ booth climbing, Nick Vance finally had a few days to chill. But of course, even his rest days turned into content gold. His next big appearance? A Patriots game. Not performing. Not promoting. Just showing up to support the team, post up with fans, and live it up outdoors. One problem. It was 30 degrees. And Nick, the guy who just days earlier had been fist-pumping under strobe lights, was now standing outside, freezing, in nothing but a sweater and one sad little pair of jeans. Let's be clear, not a winter coat. Not a thermal jacket. Just one thin sweater. His words. Y'all, it's literally just this. That's it. This is all I brought. And it showed. Snapchat clips caught him huddled up, shivering, trying to keep it together as the cold smacked him in the face. He looked like a Florida boy stranded in the Arctic. His lips were so chapped they started bleeding, and fans couldn't help but roast him and rally around him all at once. One commenter joked, "Bro spun 50 parties but forgot how seasons work." Another added, "Mr. DJ might need a blanket set for his next tour stop." Still, Nick powered through, posing for pics with fans, flashing smiles, and giving off solid main character energy even with the wind punching him square in the face. And the best part? He still squeezed humor out of the suffering. One fan messaged him on Snapchat with a wild comment saying, "Mister, I want to climb Mount Everest." To which Nick, frozen and absolutely over it, replied, "Yeah, nah. That dream is being recycled." Instant quote. Instant meme. Classic Nick Vance moment. Even without a stage, he was keeping fans laughing, engaged, and wondering how this man goes from club lights to literal frostbite without missing a beat. But whether it's blazing hot sets or bone-chilling sidelines, Nick's momentum hasn't slowed for a second. And even during this short break, fans were already asking the same question. Is this just a moment? Or is he building a full-blown movement? Tour stops, giveaways, viral moments. Yeah, that's impressive. But for a growing part of Nick's fanbase, it's not just the performances that have them obsessed. It's the possibility that something bigger is happening behind the scenes. And at the center of that theory, Olandria. Ever since that flirty morning interview back at Bama, fans haven't let up. The second Nick casually praised their glamour photoshoot like it meant more than just a collab, the internet clocked it. He called it his favorite project. His words. That one fed generations. That fed families. Cue the meltdown. People froze the clip, analyzed his tone, his facial expression, Olandria's reposts, the matching fits, every tiny detail got magnified. TikTok edits. Everywhere. Couple goals, montages. Flooded timelines. Even fan pages started using Sparkle's Mr. and Mrs. O. Sparkles in their bios, referencing those mysterious trinkets he got in Orlando. Some fans swear they're already low-key married. Others think it's all PR. But one thing's for sure, the chemistry is real, and it's turning heads. And while he hasn't said too much about their relationship lately, Nick's been strategically silent. That only fuels the speculation. Everyone's asking, are they building something off-camera? Is this Love Island 2.0, but industry level? And what does it all mean for his career? Because with the kind of attention he's pulling, not just for his music, but his movements, his relationships, his whole vibe, Nick Vance isn't just being watched. He's being followed. Closely. Which leads to the real question. Where is this all going? The DJ sets are only getting bigger. The venues louder. The clips more viral. But with every high-energy gig, every city switch, and every jaw-dropping moment, there's a burning curiosity building underneath all of it. Is this just Nick's hot streak? Or is Freo Nico on his way to becoming something way bigger than anyone expected? From sorority shoutouts and viral giveaways, to midnight booths and 7 a.m. runs, Nick Vance has moved way past that guy from Love Island. This isn't just post-reality TV clout, this is strategy. Every tour stop is louder. Every city adds new memories. And every interaction, whether it's a freezing Patriots game or a random dance circle at Greek Fest, just proves he's not fading into the background. He's actually just getting started. What's wild is, even with everything he's done on this tour, it still feels like we haven't seen the real peak yet. The buzz around his name, the speculation around his relationship, the artists he's networking with, there's something bigger on the edge of this moment. Maybe this is the rise of Freo Nico. Or maybe this is just a highlight reel before the next big plot twist. Either way, if you've been sleeping on Nick Vance, this is your wake-up call. Because the next time he steps on stage, there's no telling what he'll do. So, who's really watching his journey unfold? Just fans? Or the whole industry? Comment down below what moment you thought was the most chaotic, and if you think Nick's got what it takes to level up again. And hey, if you've ever seen one of his shows in person, let us know what it was really like. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you catch the next deep dive the moment it drops. Because next up, we're breaking down that Ace interview. And trust me, there's way more going on there than what made it to the timeline. Until then, stay sharp, stay curious, and as always, be careful out there. The world's wild, but that just makes the story better.